Justin Lockett. He's the founder of the Jared Michael Lockett Foundation. And Jared is here with us today to talk about a very special event, which is the inaugural 5K Run Against Violence that's going to take place on Saturday, November the 16th. So it's coming right up here. Before you know it, I know he's been anticipating this for months now, and it's right upon him. And just glad to have you here on the broadcast, Justin.
And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir, indeed. So as I do typically when we've had this conversation, you got to tell us, first of all, what the Jared Michael Lockett Foundation is so that people can understand the context in which we're going to continue the conversation.
Got it. So the Jared Michael Lockett Foundation is an organization that I created in 2013 after my brother was murdered in December 2012. And our mission is to educate the community about the dangers of gun violence and try to come up with ways to prevent it. Also, what we've done in 2017 was we created the League of Legacy Mentoring Program, which teaches young men to better value themselves. And when you have a great sense of self, I find it often that you better respect other people, but you do better in the classroom, you hold your head up right, and when those things seem to happen, then you don't want to harm your brother or your sister when you have a difference between the two of you.
It's all about establishing a sense of pride and honor and integrity for oneself. Of course, you have a very powerful story in starting this foundation that was born of tragedy.
Yes.
But I think it also speaks to how oftentimes those types of things can direct people's energies in very positive ways so that in essence your brother's legacy lives on.
It does. And I often tell people that your legacy is not something that you leave for people, but something that you leave behind in people. And I think of my brother's spirit, his smile, his love for the classroom and other people, and all of the qualities that made him who he was are the things that make the foundation what it is.
Very powerful indeed. Now you're doing this in partnership with the Homicide Survivors Program that's a part of Family Services Center. Talk about why it was important, of course, beyond the obvious connection, why it was important for you to have this partnership and relationship with this organization.
So I got the opportunity to meet Kim Crawford earlier this year at a visual honoring the survivors of homicide. And she and I instantly created a relationship, and we thought, you know, we need to collaborate, but there's a 5K for everything that you can think of, but I haven't seen one for violence. And this is something that you see more and more. I don't want to say it's happening more, but because of social media and everything, it seems that it's always at the forefront of our conversation. So let's talk about it, but let's also let you know of the agencies that are aware that can help you if you did suffer a loss, mental health counselors, and also you see a lot of people who don't have life insurance, right? And they don't think about the fact that young people are getting killed, and then you have to set up a GoFundMe page when they're gone because they don't have life insurance. So let's talk about all these things and bring you out, and then at the same time remember those people that we lost.
Yeah. Justin, I know I have, you're one of two people that I kind of watched from the sidelines for a number of years. We've never really had a chance to meet, but I heard about your work. L.C. Smith, shout out to him, and Real Fathers Making a Difference was the other person. He and I have developed a great relationship in the past few years, just from being intentional about acknowledging what he's doing and being supportive of what he's doing. So much of what goes into your mission involves giving something of yourself to these young people who I know appreciate it so much. But when we start talking about this whole notion of role models and mentors, help people understand what the value that is as you see it through your eyes and the work that you've been doing.
I can think back to when I was growing up and how instrumental it was to have so many people, whether it be your dad, whether it's a scoutmaster, a coach, whatever the case is. I also remember the 100 Black Men of America's Men of Tomorrow statement saying what they see is what they'll be. And so you put all that together, and then when I was at the church, Reverend Smith said to me, young man, you're tall. People are going to naturally look up to you. You better give them something to look up to. So with those things put together, I thought that it was really important so that people could see some of the decisions that I've made, right, wrong, or indifferent, so that they can learn from them, so that way the person behind me can go further than I will or I have.
We continue to read accounts of people who are dying in the street needlessly. You know, I think the conversation that people are having now that's really kind of a crazy conversation is about how people are dying in line waiting for Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Just ridiculous reasons why people are losing their lives. What is your message to people out there as it relates to conflict resolution, exercising restraint and discipline whenever they have some type of a beef with somebody. I mean, what is your message to people as a survivor of a person who experienced homicide, your brother?
I think it can go multiple ways, but I think a lot of times people don't really realize the impact, right? You just think somebody's life. I think if you go back a step, a lot of people don't see value inside themselves, and so it's very difficult to see value in you or someone else. At the same rate, I ask people to think, does that chicken sandwich mean more to you than this person or the rest of your life that you're about to spend in prison, those shoes, those $7 you had to steal? But at the same rate, I believe that it all goes back to loving yourself and having a great sense of who it is that you are and where it is that you've come from. And I think that would cause people to make a better decision. And one of the things I pride myself on is I've grown to stop yelling at people or change the way that I interact with things. And so that's how I deal with it. And I try to show other people that it's not necessary to escalate a conversation to here when the thing that you're having a difference with is so small. We can handle it other ways.
Yeah, when you put that thing in perspective, sometimes the smallest thing in the world, it's not really worth all of that stuff that people get into. So let's let people know where the inaugural 5K Run Against Violence is going to take place. And I want to say shout out to all of you great sponsors who have come behind this initiative. But where is this going to take place and when? And how can people find out more about it?
Okay. Well, I do want to shout out the sponsors. We have AT&T, Jerry Damson, BioOne, Hiley, Volkswagen, Audi, and Mazda. We also have Publix, Kroger, and we have Counseling Associates of North Alabama. Those are our big sponsors. Big John's Barbecue and Harvest. This 5K is going to be downtown, 109 Cleveland. If you don't know where that is, that's the intersection of Meridian Street and Cleveland Avenue, right across the street from the AM Lumberyard. And it's going to be, the race is going to start at 8:30. A lot of the agencies are going to be set up at 7 o'clock. And so we want to tell people, the reason why I stretch 8:30 is, some people have this where they show up late. We're going to start at 8:30 on the dot, right? But we do ask that you come out and have an opportunity to mingle and engage with some of these agencies that will be there.
Yeah. This is such an important thing. If people want to find out more information, do you have a social media presence? Do you have a website?
Yes. So our website is jaredmlockettfoundation.org. Our race is featured on Run Sign Up, and you can find that easier just on Facebook at Jared M. Lockett Foundation, or you could simply just type in JML Foundation, and you'll find us either way, and everything will bring you back to where you need to go to find the race sign up.
All right, Justin, best wishes on this. Let's stay in touch. Let's not just wait for events like this to happen. Keep us up to speed on what you're doing, and we'd love to highlight anything that you got going on.
Yes, I will do that. Thank you so much for having us.
All right, fantastic. Dr. Donald Blake, one more time. Happy Veterans Day to you, sir, and thank you for your service, and thank you for everything that you bring to this broadcast once a month.
Can I inject one thing? Can I inject one thing related to this?
Yes.
With young black men, these statistics are a little old, but if you take 3 black men, youngsters, 12 years old, by the time they get 30, one will be dead, one will be in prison for killing the one, and the third one, once he gets 30, can live to 70 or more. So that this violence, it's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
It's never worth it.
Yeah.
And I have survived the streets of Harlem, Kenny, because I was better off in the Army than I was in Harlem. And this is it.
And the rest is history.
Yes.
So thank you once again, sir, for your service. Justin, thank you once again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we want to thank all of you guys that were listening to the broadcast. I see you on Facebook Live. That's all right. Y'all tune in anytime, not just when Justin comes on or when Dr. Blake comes on. We're here every Sunday from 2 until 4 o'clock p.m. sharing information and inspiration. And we hope that you got an earful this afternoon from all of the good stuff that we were sharing. Got lots of ears on the radio this afternoon at 90.1 FM in the local market. We got a lot of eyes and ears on the web at WJOU.